While sorting through my late mother's belongings, I found an old discontinued cell phone. Annoyance. Don't call me again unless it's a genuine emergency. Our history is awkward, to put it mildly. Awkward? I forced a bitter, faint smile and twisted my fingers nervously. Right, of course. It didn't matter anyway. In just 1 week, I planned to move to New Zealand with my father. The fresh air there would aid his recovery and give me a much-needed fresh start, far away from all old memories. Satisfied with my quiet compliance, Silas walked past me without another word, like a fleeting breeze barely brushing my skin. I didn't linger by the ICU. Instead, I followed my father's gurney, walking in the opposite direction of Silas. My mother's sudden death had dealt my father a crushing blow. The first thing he asked for upon waking after surgery was an old photo of my mother from her youth. My heart ached deeply at the sight of him so broken and lost. It was clear how deeply my father loved my mother, and how much he loved me too. He'd always been the one trying to mend the rift between my mom and me. Even knowing she'd never fully let go of her first love, he'd stayed devoted to her until the very end. I leaned over to comfort him. I'll ask Aunt Martha to bring those photos over soon. You just need to rest, and my words halted when I glanced at the patient chart at the head of the bed. Patient, Arthur Rowan. Attending physician, Silas Thorne. I froze on the spot, my mind flashing back to our high school graduation day. Silas had once dreamed of becoming a traveling surgeon, wandering the world to save those in need. The heart monitor suddenly began beeping rapidly. I snapped out of my daze, slammed the emergency button, and rushed into the hallway shouting for help. Silas sprinted toward the room, his expression grim. What happened? My heart raced too fast to form a coherent sentence. Stay calm, I'm here. He squeezed my shoulder briefly before rushing inside to tend to my father. My heart, heavy and sinking, flickered with a reluctant spark of hope. I followed him into the room. Silas administered a mild sedative, and slowly my father drifted back into a peaceful sleep. I exhaled in relief and whispered another quiet thank you. Silas remained as cold and unyielding as ever. I'll check his condition every 3 hours. Avoid loud outbursts in the hallway. They disturb other recovering patients. He left immediately after speaking. A nearby nurse leaned in gently to comfort me. Don't take his cold demeanor personally. Dr. Thorne has always been reserved and blunt. It's just his nature. I offered a tight, small smile. The nurse sighed, filled with obvious admiration. Dr. Thorne saves all his warmth for his girlfriend. Top hospitals in the city tried to recruit him aggressively, yet he turned every offer down just to avoid being in a long-distance relationship with her. Girlfriend. Her words rippled sharply through my chest, like a stone dropped into still water. I forced a polite smile. He sounds truly devoted. I couldn't help wondering, had he cut off all contact with me 3 years ago because he'd already started dating her? I pushed the thought away quickly. It was only natural he'd moved on long before I had. I called Aunt Martha, asking her to bring the old family photos to the hospital. She immediately steered the conversation to my future, urging me to stay in the city for good to care for my fragile father after my mother's passing. I hadn't told anyone about our plan to immigrate overseas yet. Aunt Martha kept rambling about my age, insisting I couldn't spend my whole life clinging to a lost first love. I replied neutrally, I never said I'd never marry. It has nothing to do with my past. I simply never met anyone who felt right. I subconsciously rubbed the faint raised scar on my wrist, my voice softening. I've dated over the years. None ever managed to settle my heart. A cold sneer suddenly sounded from behind me. How hard could it possibly be to please you? My entire body stiffened at once. I turned slowly to find Silas standing in the hospital room doorway, and I had no idea how long he'd been listening. I avoided his sharp, piercing gaze awkwardly. With a cold expression, Silas stepped inside and set a pill bottle heavily on the nightstand. Give him 1 tablet as soon as he wakes up. Only 1. I nodded quietly.